Mr. Toastmaster, my fellow Toastmasters. What I'm about to explain to you, tell you a story, was an event that changed my life forever. I was about 15 years old. I was laying in my bedroom at my parents' house. And my parents went to bed quite early, it was quite dark. So I tucked up in bed and I had trouble getting to sleep. You know, there's nights where you're tossing and turning. And then I saw a headlight flash from my window, my bedroom. Didn't really pay much attention to it, so I shut my eyes and tried to get back to sleep. I opened my eyes again and the room was full of this intense bright light, like the sun. It was literally like the sun was in my bedroom. And I opened my eyes and I felt paralysed. Do you know that feeling you get when you're asleep and you're awake, you cannot move? So I was laying in bed, paralysed, and the room was full of light. I shut my eyes, hoping it was a dream. But then I opened my eyes again, and what I saw in front of me shook me forever. There was 3 men standing over my bed. I was 15 years old, and I was absolutely terrified. So I shut my eyes again, hoping it was all a dream, and then I opened my eyes again, and I looked up at these 3 men. And they weren't men at all. I don't know what they were. They were these creatures. 3 of them were staring at me. Not my story, a story from Billy Bob from South America in 1969. So, my story is about aliens. Do they exist? A lot of people believe they do. More people in America believe aliens have come to this planet than believe that Jesus was the Son of God. That's a huge amount of people. But on the scientific side, the serious side, 80% of scientists on the planet believe in extraterrestrials. There is some sort of life in this universe. And by the year 2020, the majority of people believe we will find life outside of our planet. So let's start from the beginning. How did life evolve on our planet? Quite simply, well, not really simply, at the bottom of our ocean we have things called volcanic vents. And this is where hot lava spills up, creates heat, and life can thrive. This is where life began on Earth. We have sort of microbial life, cells forming into 1 cell, 2 cells, fish, so forth, and there's people like us walking around on the planet. This is how life formed on our Earth. So what are we doing as a civilization to look for these aliens? Like, instead of looking at skies or so forth. In 1924, the US government set a new organisation up called SETI, the Search for Intellectual Intelligent Life. What they primarily do is they have these big beacons, radar dishes, and they just listen for alien television shows, alien radio stations, or alien messages saying we're here, we want to invade you. They've been doing that for about 20 years now, and they haven't done a thing. So surely there's no alien life, there's nothing out there. But what SETI are doing now, which is a lot more important, is they're finding and looking for planets that are like our own. Planets that are in the right area between us, not too far away from the sun and not too close. They call that the Goldilocks zone, so not too hot, not too cold. And their estimates are there's about 20 billion planets like ours in our Milky Way. There's 20 billion in our Milky Way. And how many galaxies are there in the universe? 20 billion, even more, we don't know. So the chances of there being intelligent life out there is more than there not being any intelligent life in the universe. So what are we doing about finding it, as in actually going there, and how are we going to find it in the next 10, 15 years? Well, NASA recently have announced they've invested $12 billion to find it. They're sure they can find it. And they don't have to go to millions of galaxies away or the other side of the universe. It's in our backyard. There's a moon called Europa, which is one of Jupiter's moons. Here's a beautiful picture of Europa here. How Europa works, very much like Earth works as far as the gravitational... It's next to Jupiter, so the gravitational pull of Jupiter has an effect on the core of Europa. Europa is an ice planet. It's about 20 kilometres thick of ice. Under that, there is water. So what's happening in the core of Europa, Jupiter's pulling on it and creating hot lava spills as they are on Earth. Same as the situation we've got on Earth. So NASA now are investing $12 billion to take an aircraft, spacecraft, to Europa, land on it, drill down, real camera, and search for little crabs or microbial life that we can find. Hopefully we will. Obviously they believe we will, because they wouldn't be investing $12 billion to look for it. So the chances of life in the universe are quite high. But what's going to happen when we do find them? You know, are they going to arrive? Are they going to slaughter us? Are they going to come in peace? No one really knows. But I think my personal opinion about what's going to happen, when we do find life out there in the universe, probably microbial to start with, hopefully us humans can realise that we live on a small rock, a tiny, tiny rock, in a tiny, tiny part of our galaxy, in a tiny, tiny part of the universe. And once we realise that we're not alone, we'll stop fighting and stop bickering about our stupid ideas and beliefs that we have, and we'll come together and live in harmony and realise that we're one big life form in the universe. That's my belief, but we've all got our beliefs. All the best, yeah, thank you.
Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, a probing story by Che Turner was an informative, a fascinating, extremely well prepared speech and researched, replete with interesting facts and incredible statistics, and the speech was augmented by several stunning colour prints to support the presentation. These tied in with the objectives of the speech, which I felt were strongly met. Che's very well researched topic was basically all about life on other planets and relative to our planet. Now, this is something that we've all basically considered, or at least been asked a question about, so I think it's appropriate for a thinking Toastmasters audience like us. And he structured it with the suspenseful anecdote as the introduction, that of that alleged close encounter with the aliens. There was then a very informative section, the one including the actual statistics about the subject of ETs, and of the demographic people who think about them, and of the universe generally. And the speech concluded with an appeal about sort of getting a sense of perspective on our planet compared to the universe. And this gave it a message. This was the theme, I felt, that of our insignificance compared to the universe. These statistics that he gave us were in a variety of different forms. For example, qualitative ones. More people believe in ETs than that one particular prophet was God, etc., which is bordering on religious, but doesn't matter, it is just an actual statistic. He used percentages. 80% of people believe in ETs. A year, by the year 2020, people believe, most people believe that we'll actually find life. And he used a very large number as a statistic, that of the number of stars in the Milky Way, which in fact is 20 billion. Another qualitative fact he gave us was that the chances of life being out there are more than the chances of life not being out there. So all these different ways of describing facts and information. The authentic articles he used, these were stunning, also beautiful, but shocking also. like those photos of the ETs, the alien beings. I liked his return of one of the pictures to bring us back to description of Europa, the planet, as opposed to Earth. That tied it together. Che's manner and delivery were natural. He's a confident speaker. He's got great eye contact, and he's paced comfortably amongst us. This shows that the subject is natural to Che. And also the speech title, a probing story, I guess is a little bit of a pun because that is part of the law of ETs. They like to do that sort of activity, ostensibly. My suggestion to Che is give more to the conclusion. Think out this appeal more. So draw out more of these stark comparisons between us and the rest of the universe and make it sound more incredible. Project the voice more to emphasise this major difference. And that just comes down to general practice of the speech itself. But all things considered, this is a fascinating subject. The speech itself had very well prepared material, employed stunning authentic articles in the photographs, and it came with a message also. And I feel with extra work on thinking it through and making it sound more incredible, that this is a subject with legs. Topics first.